All right, Raider Nation, welcome back to the Raider D Ranch here on the Raider D podcast. Thank you so much for being here, guys. We're going to be talking about Mathew Staford and the apparent done deal for him to come to the Las Vegas Raiders. Plus, I have an update on our beloved Malcolm Koonce. Signs are pointing in the right direction there, so stick around for that news towards the end of this video. Guys, I'm out here on the ranch, and you know, we are totally off-grid out here. Water, power, everything is completely off-grid. And if you guys need any type of a solar solution, whether it's for some backup, whether it's for outdoors camping, whether it's for an off-grid situation like us, you can see I got the brand new solar array built yesterday, and that's why I didn't drop the Mathew Staford news last night when it came out, because I was busy doing this and mounting these Vtoman 400 watt foldable mobile solar panels. Now, the great thing about these panels is that I can at any time just unscrew the brackets and take it with me. If I need to go to the other side of the ranch and do some work over there, I can take my Jump 1800 solar power station and one of these panels, or heck, two of these panels if I want to, because it's so easy and so mobile and so versatile. Guys, you gotta check them out. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description if you want to get your solar power on. Go and check out Vtoman, and thank you, Vtoman, for being a sponsor of the channel. Now let's get into today's video talking about Mathew Staford. Now we all know, as I dropped my video yesterday, and others have as well, that Jordan Schultz dropped an article stating that there was a big meeting between Tom Brady and Mathew Staford at his home in Montana, who I guess Mathew Staford also owns a home in the same ski resort community. They went skiing together, they had some bro time, and Tom Brady was able to convince Mathew Staford that the best chance for him to win another Super Bowl ring is with the silver and black. And apparently he is buying what Tom Brady is selling. And that's great news, because after that meeting, his agent and his team went to the Raiders front office with John Spytek and the crew, and they were able to work out a deal. Now, we don't know the specificity of this deal quite yet, but I'm sure that that's going to come out soon. We do know that it's going to be anywhere from $40 to $50 million a year with a whole bunch of guaranteed money and a 3-year contract. Now, remember that Mathew Staford is a 37-year-old. He's had some back problems. He's also had some shoulder problems with his throwing arm. And this is why the Rams gave him permission to go and seek some trade talks, because the Rams were only going to owe him $27 million this year. Mathew Staford is not happy with that, being a Super Bowl quarterback and a stud. No doubt about that. And so he's not happy with the Rams. He wants to move on. He wants to get his big payday, and he wants to take another shot at a Super Bowl. And so coming to the Raiders, we already have a squad. Listen, we have one of the best defensive ends in the NFL, Max Crosby. We have a top 10 defensive tackle in Christian Wilkins. We have a we have the best tight end in the NFL in Brock Bowers for him to throw the ball to. We have Jacoby Myers, who is the Swiss Army knife of a wide receiver. We have Trey Tucker, who is the speedster, take it over the top guy. And we also have the number 6 overall draft pick. So imagine if the Raiders were to get Mathew Staford, you now no longer have to get Shedeur Sanders. Now that's still a possibility, but I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to want to sit for 3 years behind Mathew Staford. So I highly doubt that the Raiders draft a quarterback. And if you're convincing Mathew Staford to come to the Raiders, then you're also convincing him that you're going to use that number 6 pick in order to upgrade that offense even better. Give him some more weapons. And what better weapon on the offense that you could give a aging quarterback who is a stud, but still aging nonetheless, than the best running back to come out of college in years, maybe even over a decade, in Ashton Jeanty. A lot of draft projections now have the Raiders, if they get Mathew Staford, coming to the Raiders. So you all of a sudden have the best running back, probably top 3 in the NFL, but you definitely have the best running back out of this draft class. But he'll probably be top 3, top 4 running back in the NFL. His rookie year. I mean, this dude could possibly even end up offensive rookie of the year when it's all said and done. Because I think when you have a Brock Bowers that defenses are really worried about now, and you possibly go out and get a T. Higgins to line up with Mathew Staford, and you have Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker, you have some other wide receivers, some young wide receivers from last year's draft class and the year before, like Christian Wilkins, not Christian Wilkins, Wilkerson, right? You now all of a sudden have an offense that can really do some things. And remember, in the second round, you can draft offensive line. In the third round, you can draft offensive line. And now all of a sudden, you got a beast of an offense to go along with that very good defense when they're all healthy. Let's put the caveat there, when they're all healthy. Now, speaking about health, let's talk about the health of this channel. We are pushing towards 12,000 subscribers. Our goal before the first week of the NFL is to be at 15,000 subscribers. And guys, we can't do that without you. 55% of you that have been watching this, returning, you've watched several episodes of the Rated D podcast, you still haven't subscribed yet. That means I'm not doing my job good enough. So what I want you to do, I don't want you to subscribe yet, unless you want to. I don't want you to subscribe yet. What I want you to do is I want you to comment down below and tell me, Raider D, what I can do better to earn your subscription. And I will read through all of those and respond to as many as I possibly can. Now let's also talk about the health of one key player that the Raiders really need to bring back, and that is Malcolm Koonce. Now I told you a couple weeks ago that from insider sources are saying that the Raiders and John Spytek and Pete Carroll are very high on Malcolm Koonce and they want to get a deal done. Well, got a message yesterday from somebody that I speak to with the organization who told me that Malcolm Koonce had a very, very good meeting with Pete Carroll and John Spytek recently. That him and his team had such a great meeting, and the framework of his contract was pretty much agreed upon. And after the combine is over, they'll get back, they'll sit down, and they'll work out all the details. You should have a Malcolm Koonce re-signing by next week. This is fantastic news for the Raiders because Malcolm Koonce really came on. And I know a lot of guys say, oh, but he didn't really do anything his first couple years in the NFL. Well, that's because he didn't really get that much of a chance. So when he really got his shot, where he became the full-time starter, because remember, they drafted Tyree Wilson. And so that, you know, at number 7 overall, that puts Malcolm Koonce, who was a third-round draft pick, that puts him on the back burner. And even before that, he never really got a shot to be a full-time starter. So in 2023, once he got his shot, he took it, and boy, did he show that he's got something in the tank. Imagine if he had been the starter from week 1. He might have ended up with 15 or 16 sacks. That's how good Malcolm Koonce is. I don't care about his stats and numbers the first couple years in the NFL. When you watch his game tape, the bend, the speed, the hand fighting, the vision, the moves, this kid's got it all. And it was really sad that he ended up with that injury that cost him the entire season. Because he was really, I think in my opinion, he was going to really come out because he was going to be the full-time starter. Now the Raiders are going to re-sign him, and he should be the full-time starter opposite of Max Crosby, which also means that the Raiders are probably not going to draft a defensive end. Now, other news is that Abdul Carter has a stress fracture in his foot and may require a surgery, which would have a bolt in his foot. They're going through a whole bunch of different doctors trying to figure out what's going on with him. This could affect Abdul Carter's draft stock and he could be available. He could fall now, right? Because there's other really good defensive ends in this draft class. And so you could see the injury costing Abdul Carter being the first defensive end off of the board. If that's the case, I still don't think, due to the fact that the Raiders are intending on re-signing Malcolm Koonce, according to insider reports, that the Raiders would take a risk on another guy with another stress fracture in the foot. Remember how that worked out with Tyree Wilson. His first year was a complete bust because of the injury, and I don't think the Raiders want to do that again. So I think you stick with Malcolm Koonce. I think it's great news that they're going to be bringing him back. We should have a announcement of a signed deal within this next week coming up. And I just think it's great. So guys, if you want to see Malcolm Koonce come back to the Raiders, if you want to see Mathew Staford throwing the ball for the Raiders, drop comments down below. Let me know how you feel about it. And make sure you check out our sponsor, Vtoman, for all of your solar power needs. From solar panels to solar generators, they got it all. Thank you, Vtoman. Let's go Raiders. Oh, one last thing. If you're still here and you want to get this hat, just click on the shopping cart right here on this video or click down in the description. It will be the first one in the description, because I know I've been getting a lot, and I mean a lot, of comments about this hat and where can anybody find it. You can find it right here on the channel. It's for sale. Go check it out.